So today we are going to see this meet. Hello everyone. So today's lecture is about XMPP. Okay, so XMPP protocol. Okay, let's see. Okay, um, here XMPP you have already studied, right? Means you know a little bit knowledge about XMPP, right? So here XMPP, let's go. Okay, let's follow. XMPP is a is a full form of that is extensible message and presence protocol, that is XMPP. Okay, today we are going to discuss what is XMPP protocol. So let me increase volume. Okay. Huh. XMPP stands for Extensible Messaging and Presence Protocol. This is also called as XMPP. As well as you can say that team. So means those can also be referred to as XMPP. Okay, so it's work in similar fashion, more like that. Then you have from the them from what convention itself. We have extensible messaging, means it is used for long distance messaging for scalability purpose. Means XMPP is used for long distance messaging. Okay, for which purpose? Messaging for scalability purpose. You know very well scalability, reliability, and all, right? We use this protocol as well as from the name present. It comes like presence of the human being. Human intervention is involved. Somewhere the peak in this you can see. So that is the whole idea about this is a XMPP, that is the extensible messaging and presence protocol is. So coming to the architecture of this XMPP protocol, let's look over here, this figure. We have this setup, right? Like we have, you can see here AC uh, acme.com center. Okay, here you can see this acme.com. This is center like organization. You can say this is like a type of organization or a place. Yeah, you can say the place where it has the to communication with this all services. Okay, so it is, you can say it's type of acme.com is type of organization, a place which all services can communicate with this. Okay, then next we have this partner, and partner as we have Microsoft, and then we have the customer, and see here partner, then customer.com, partner.com, and acme.com. Okay, so you can see here this is the partner.com, then customer.com, and acme.com. Okay, so I said that acme.com is like an organization or a place where it has to communicate with all these services. Okay. Then next, I said that partner.com, a partner. As we have Microsoft, it means as like Microsoft, and then we have the customer, and that customer is IBM. So each team has got the particular domain, say acme.com, partner.com, and customer.com. So each team what have, I said that each of them has got one particular domain. Okay, that is the acme.com, partner.com, and customer.com. Okay, so partner.com and customer.com. Okay, and each of these has public DNS, that is indicate, see this, each have public DNS. This is a DNS, it's indicate like this. Okay, each have the public DNS. Okay, okay. Now here you can see that this is a acme.com, partner and customer is having the public DNA, each having public DNAs. Okay, so this indicate like this, I said already. Okay, now everywhere there is a public DNS, right? Everywhere is there is a public DNS. You can see this is the, right, this is called public DNS. Okay, so now everywhere there is a public DNS. Like if they want to access their internet service, then they also have Google. So Google also have own public DNS. You can see here, right? What I said, if you want what I said that now everywhere there is a public DNS is there. You can see this architecture in this, right? if they want to access their internet service, if someone customer want to access their internet service, then they also have Google. See here, and Google also have its own public DNS. Okay, DNS like domain of different entities are there. Let me explain what this. So first we have public DNS for this acme.com, right? This is the first is a public DNS for acme.com. So then we have Cisco switch or router. Then we have what you can say here. This called Cisco, yeah, switch or router, whatever you want. You can say Cisco switch or router, which also has its own DNS, right? And then we have Microsoft, right? That is the partner entity. You can see here, right? That is the partner entity which has got public DNS, as well as it got one gateway, that is get XMP gateway. So here in partner DNS having Microsoft and with public DNS and as well as XML gateway, okay, which is used for firewall purpose. So this gateway is used for what? Firewall purpose. Then you know very well about firewall, right? You have studied in your DNA subject firewall is particular topic also. उसमें आपने study किया था firewall means what. So I said that in this firewall is also there which is used for firewall purpose. Then similarly we have a customer, right? In downside C customer we have IBM, which has also got its own public DNS and its own XMPP gateway for firewall purpose here also, right? Then we have Google, you can see here, and Google also has public DNS, right? Google also have public DNS, and we have a Cisco Web, means here we have Cisco Web X, means at distance server like remote server, at distance server like remote server, we have accessing some particular service. So for that, to connect that we have this Cisco, means to connect the particular service we require this Cisco. Okay, okay, I said that we are accessing some particular services, so for that, to connect that we have this Cisco Web X, okay, server. This work like a server basically. So the domain of this is acme.com, the domain of this acme.com from this webx.com. Okay, now this connected to wire or via what connectivity, then is connected to wire C or via connectivity. Then we talk about this public DNS. Public DNS is a mainly used for, now I said everywhere has public DNS in Acme, in Cisco, then Google, then here everywhere you can see, right? So public DNS is a mainly used for translation of those address, like for Google we have www.com. So moreover it's like you can say alphabetical or in a string format. So over the internet, browser doesn't understand, those processing does not take place in that way, but we have to convert into IP address like somewhere like 192.168.005. Yeah, we have study about IP address in my previous lecture. I think so in that lecture में हमने 192.168 public private IP का मैंने discussion दिया. If you want then please go and see this lecture. कैसे हमें IP provide होती है manually and right. Okay. So I what I कहा थी मैं, we have to convert into IP address like somewhat like 192 IP address like 192.168.005, something like that. So for that purpose you need to convert it. So for converting you that need to have public DNS. You have to convert like this purpose. You require what public DNS. Okay, for converting that you need to have public DNS, that is initial domain name server. Okay, public DNS, that is initial domain name server or domain name system. You already study about DNS, what is DNS, the work of DNS, because maybe SY से आप DNS या TY में भी आपने no sorry SY में आपने DNS देखा, right? You know very well, you are familiar with DNS, right? So what is the full form also, domain names server or domain name system. or service or something like that. You can say any of them these terms. So that's when DNS is used. So each of them have got their own public DNS, and all this like acme.com or organization or the partner as well as the server main thing recorded the service record, a service stand service record which has its template format, and this way like XMPP server, okay, XMPP dash server, here you can see this XMPP high server dot then hyphen tcpp, okay, con acme.com, okay, you can see here xmpp dash server and then dot tcpp hyphen then con acme.com, like this domain come here, and it's run on a part or presence on the part 52 sorry, it runs on port and presence of the port, this port number is 5269. Okay, similarly, the ports remain the same and the domain change that partners.com or customer.com, and and then it communicate over the Cisco web server, so WebEx server. So this is a connectivity which is going through this like from gateway and from the IBM. That is a customer and partner is connected via this. Acme.com then it is used for messaging purpose, and it's basically used for communication purpose. Okay, we have set up for XMPP now. Let's move on to theory. Let's move on. Now you got it about this architecture, each having the DNS for which purpose XMPP you are using for messaging purpose. You can see its name में आपको है extensible messaging and presence protocol. So communication purpose of course is used for communication purpose. So now move on this theory. Okay, we have set up for XMPP now, right? Let's move on the theory section. What does this use basically like? What is the major role of this XMPP in IoT? Is developed mainly for instance messaging. Sorry, it's mainly developed for instance messaging. Okay, messaging is IBM. Like I said, the presence protocol. So presence belief to some people involvement like some human to human interaction in this is there somewhere people are sitting over at the back end, so that presence stand for human presence. Now this whole communication of this protocol take place via text communication in form of XML format, that is extensible markup language. So it is extensible message. You have extensible markup format as a native type for enabling person to person communication, which become more over like natural scenario now. Why to use XML message format? Like you can define your own node itself, like it can be customized. You can append a label or a tag. That's why we are using XML message format. Okay, tag name with your name as well as or some identity or key to it, so that you can easily structure and format it, so that becomes movable like normal human to human communication, like in form of message as well. You can format or you can format in that way. Okay, and then you can present it to the end user, so that becomes very much useful for the other person or the person standing at the other end to understand what you are trying to communicate with them. So that's where XML packets or example message format come into picture. Okay, or that's very useful in kind of this protocol. Then it implies one addressing scheme. So that addressing scheme is like of this name at the rate domain.com. And this basically what corrects different needs. I mean to say that different kinds of wires, routers, switches, retrace model, and also that this term need to huge internet stack, okay, hash stack. So like this is not the setup as well as like you have a big setup more than this slide. You can think like IoT is very much big. So billions and billions of device will get connect to each other, right? You know very well IoT now because what is IoT and how the devices work, how the device communicate. So billions and billions devices communicate to each other, yeah, connected to each other. So this hashtag is like you can computer it with that like a huge kind of network system. So that is the internet history. Now, the name at the rate domain.com is the characteristic of the addressing mechanism that is employed in XMPP. Now, this is a moreover like your Gmail address, like your Gmail address at gmail.com or some username at gmail.com. So it's more over like that. So imagine you have n number of different device, okay, that you own. So for example, I am just that is mi brand, okay, I am that is mi brand. Hmm. So I having the mi brand like bracelet, okay. So if it's like my name is xyz, so xyz at mi bracelet yeah, band or mi2.com, so that become identify that mij band or some product from mi band accessed by me, okay, or I am the owner of that, or if I shall have a iPhone, then XYZ at iPhone 65 or iPhone 10. So it's like moreover. You can connect easily to different device. So that's where it is kind of addressing mechanism. It's used, so it's seen in XMPP. Then XMPP offer an easy way for device addressing. So like I said, this kind of addressing mechanism is seen in a XMPP. Then mostly XMPP used for in data that is going between distance, like at a distance, especially under uh, point, just like the person to person case, okay, person to person case. Now this I will explain with a real life example. Let's see, like you have your currency, okay, bank notes which you get from the bank. So in this bank notes, like since you have automatic ticket mechanism, okay, machine, automatic ticket machine to an ATM, then from the ATM you have withdraw some money, like for example say 2000 rupees, okay. Then you have taken from that ATM now 2000 rupees, you will not be spending frugally. You will be using it on occasional basis or like after some time, okay. You will be using now this 2000 rupees will be sent to different or will be handed to different person at different stick of them. So, like, you will not be knowing that to whom you are giving those 2000 rupees, or it's different. Like 2000, you have to convert 500. So, like, you may be sending at one instance or a different number of transaction, but you will not know at which point of time your 2000 notice being sent to that particular person. So that become a kind of hidden or secret things. So, like in recent days, some kind of chip are installed on those bank notes, so that in case of corruption or kind of fake what monies can be easily identified with this kind of technique. So this analogy can relate with that, like in exchange of banknotes. Now it provides a great way, for instance, to connect with your home device and we to web servers, so you can access it from your home itself. Like you have connected your thermostat, then the motion is configuration over the web server. Now at any point of the house you can access at any time, at anywhere you want to be, and it's not designed to be fast like most of the implementation use either cooling or checking for update only. on depends. So XMPP is not mean XMPP is not mean to be fastly implemented, but any kind of pooling mechanism or any other updates. If any updates are here in this schema, then it will be implemented on that basis. Now its main strength is security. Okay, its main strength is security, then addressing mode, and then scalability. So with this, it is ideal for customer oriented IoT application. So most of the technology, this XMPP protocol is used in a um, wider basis. So that's all about the protocol of XMPP for IoT. So XMPP symbol is look like this. Okay, symbol of XMPP. Okay, so let's see. XMPP का लोगो इस तरह का होता है. ये भी बहुत ज़्यादा यूजफुल प्रोटोकॉल है जो IoT में कनेक्टिविटी में एम्बेडेड. ओके, सो XMPP का लोगो इस तरह का है. ओके, सॉरी कनेक्टिविटी का प्रॉब्लम था. सो इस तरह का होता है. ये भी बहुत ज़्यादा यूजफुल प्रोटोकॉल है जो IoT में कनेक्टिविटी में एम्बेडेड सिस्टम में यूज किया जाता है. अब इसके बेसिस फ्यूचर या बेसिस ओरिजिनिटी के बारे में डिस्कस करेंगे. सो XMPP को डेवलप किया गया था जेबर ओपन सोर्स कम्युनिटी ने. ओके, in 1999 में, and now it known as a Jaber project. Okay, XMPP is a extensible message presence protocol. This basically communication protocol. This example XML base. अभी जैसे हमने डिस्कस किया XML base से कैसे वर्क होता है, क्या होता है, we have discussed, right? It is used in fast data transfer. XMPP is used for data transfer fast. जब हमें जल्दी डेटा ट्रांसफर करना होता है उस केस में हम लोग यूज करते हैं XMPP. डेटा ट्रांसफर कहाँ होगा? बिटवीन मल्टीपल नोड ऑन नेटवर्क. नेटवर्क में मल्टीपल नोड्स होते उसको यूज करता है. साथ ही साथ इट इज यूज पोर्ट. इसके पोर्ट जो है वो फिक्स होते हैं. पोर्ट लाइक 522 फॉर क्लाइंट सर्वर कम्युनिकेशन. It's a protocol. Port ये जो फिक्स होता है लाइक 5222 फॉर क्लाइंट सर्वर एंड कम्युनिकेशन में यूज होगा. और एक और पोर्ट है जो यूज होता है पोर्ट 5269. ये यूज फॉर सर्वर टू सर्वर कम्युनिकेशन. मतलब इसमें XMPP मतलब XMPP में एक प्रोटोकॉल पोर्ट होते हैं लाइक क्लाइंट टू सर्वर 5222 एंड सर्वर टू सर्वर 5269. ओके, पोर्ट नंबर यूज किया जाता है. इसकी जो सिक्योरिटी मैकेनिज्म होती है ये बेसिकली सिक्योरिटी मैकेनिज्म जो होती है TLS होती है. राइट, TLS हम लोगों ने स्टडी कर चुके हैं. यू नो वेरी वेल नाउ TLS DTLS एंड SLL SSS. राइट, सो इसकी मैकेनिज्म सिक्योरिटी क्या होती है? TLS दैट इज ट्रांसफर लेयर सिक्योरिटी एंड इस यूज SLS दैट इज सिंपल ऑथेंटिकेशन सिक्योरिटी लेयर SASL. Okay, it is used SASL that is simple authentication security layer. इस तरह से वर्क करता है. ओके, लेट्स सी इट्स फ्यूचर्स. ओके ओके, फ्यूचर्स. इट इज एक्सटेंसिबल मतलब कस्टमाइज किया जा सकता है इसको एज पर यूज रिक्वायरमेंट. नेक्स्ट, प्रेजेंस. इसका फ्यूचर ये है जो रिएक्टिव प्रेजेंस है, वेरी रिएक्टिव है. यूजर की प्रेजेंस के हिसाब से रिएक्ट करता है. मतलब अगर यूजर प्रेजेंट तो वो डायरेक्टली फास्ट रिस्पॉन्स देता है. राइट, लाइक दिस. ओके, देन मैसेजिंग. इस प्रोवाइड मैसेजिंग फैसिलिटी टू इंस्टेंस मैसेजिंग में, IM में. इंस्टेंस मैसेजिंग मीन्स IM. इसमें इसका यूज होता है. शॉर्ट मैसेज ये क्या करेगा? यूज शॉर्ट मैसेज फॉर कम्युनिकेशन. देन प्रोटोकॉल, platform for consulting involving XML base and asynchronization information. ये प्रोटोकॉल है जो कि कॉन्स्टेंटली इन्वॉल्विंग है एंड असिंक्रोनाइजेशन XML बेस है में यूज होता है. सो इस टुडे सेशन में हमने XML क्या इज फुल फॉर्म, दैट इज एक्सटेंशिएबल मैसेजिंग एंड प्रेजेंस प्रोटोकॉल देखा, जो कि डेवलप बाय जेम्बर कम्युनिटी इन 1999। देन दिस इज द आर्किटेक्चर जिसमें हर एक में डोमेन है, इसका इन पब्लिक डोमेन है DNS है, राइट। इट्स ऑल हैविंग पब्लिक डोमेन, इट्स कॉल्ड लाइक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, इट्स हैविंग gateway and which work as a firewall, right, in this में. Okay, then दिस इज अ सिंबल ऑफ XMPP. देन हमने इसमें जस्ट कैसे वर्क होता है, क्या करता है वो देखे. देन वी हैव स्टडी अबाउट द फ्यूचर ऑफ XMPP. सो टुडे सेशन ओवर हियर. थैंक यू.